Hello, everyone, and welcome to my every other week bi-weekly live stream. And I am very excited to talk to you guys today. I'm going to let folks get in the chat and get settled in before we begin. And I just want to talk to you about a few things today, and then we'll take your questions near the second part of the live stream. But before we begin with that, I just want to tell the folks who may be watching this on the replay for the first time, maybe not even seeing my channel before. My name is John from Flippin' Ain't Easy. I'm here to help other online resellers, mainly eBay resellers, with their daily problems that you may encounter and things like that, and also just through some of the things that I deal with. And you can learn from my mistakes, and a lot of these live streams are great because it gives you a chance to ask questions and maybe find out information. A lot of you just don't have the kind of time to get in here on the internet, Google searching this and Google searching that to try to find your answers. So hopefully this is a resource for you. And before I begin, though, I want to thank the folks last week that gave me a super chat. I did not ask for it in advance, and I didn't even expect it, and it surprised me. But I just want to thank you guys for your support. You guys can support the channel if you want. Certainly, it's welcome, and it's not something I'm asking for by any means, but super chat, super stickers, that kind of thing. And we put that money back into lovely things like this that'll help with the live streams and the videos that we provide throughout the week. Hopefully you guys can hear me better now than you were before with the audio problems I was having. So with that out of the way, again, want to thank each and every one of you. We have 11 people on the live stream, and I just have to tell you that this week has been the best sales week that I've had since the time I was selling pool tables. This is like 12 years ago, selling pool tables on eBay at $10,000 a clip. I mean, and that was more of a consignment kind of thing. Right now, I could tell you that we had an $8,000 week in sales. Last 31 days is 17,000. And just to show you how poorly I was doing in December and January, the 90-day total is about 27,000. So that means that in December and January, I was doing about, and this is just this one account. This is my main account, not talking about any other accounts. But this one main account here was doing 27,000 in 90 days, which on the surface doesn't look bad. But if you take the numbers I just gave you, we're talking $5,000 a month in December and January, $5,000 a month. That's horrible, because usually in the fourth quarter, December is an awesome month, and a lot of times that rolls over to January as also a lot of residual sales that come along with that. And so my conclusion to this is it's because, and I'm sure many of you have told me in the chats before, but I'm hard-headed sometimes, and I have to find this information for myself. I need to actually see the numbers. I actually need to see the results before I become a believer sometimes. And, we're talking this whole thing with the spreadsheet. If you're not using a spreadsheet to sort of follow your sales, and GoDaddy bookkeeping is just not enough. Other different bookkeeping software is just not enough. You actually should have a spreadsheet on the side that tells you what your margins are, what your average cost of item is, and what your sales are, and all that stuff. And I spent time to do that. And my conclusion is that my sourcing has let me down. I've let myself down with my sourcing. And I've been the one that would come on here and tell you guys that your sourcing is really the number one way you win in this game. And unfortunately, I haven't been following my own advice. And I've been really, I don't want to call it lazy, but I just haven't done a very good job of sourcing. Buying these Amazon liquidation lots, aren't bad. And I kind of fell into this category. You start watching people, other YouTubers, and you see that the goal, it seems like a lot of these YouTubers have, is how many items can I get in my store? Because the mindset is, if I get a lot of items in my store, then that's more items, more sales, right? But that's more work. And if we're looking for volume and we get a lot of items in our store that are $10, $20, $30, and our eBay fees and our shipping eats away half of that, then what are we really doing? We're kind of spinning our wheels. And I think that's what I was doing, spinning my wheels. I mean, my average sale price for this year, now that's the first 2 months and the first maybe week of this month, is $42. That's including shipping. And that's on this main account that I'm talking about. Now, if I drill down a little bit more, my average sale price, my ASP, is $32.16. Okay. Now, if I just look at the Costco pallet that I bought, or the 2 different lots that I bought through Costco, we're talking $77.60 is your average sale price. And I know someone, and I don't want to name them, but this particular YouTuber is a very popular one, states that $30 is the average sale price on eBay, and that very well may be. But if you consider the fact that on eBay, you can go right now and do a Google search for ketchup packets, Arby's sauce, things like that, and you're going to find people selling these things for pennies. And it's not just a few sellers, it's all over the place. Very small listings, people selling recipes for $1. The thing is, that brings down the average sale price on eBay by quite a bit. And you're not competing with a ketchup packet salesperson. At least I hope you're not. And hopefully you're not selling recipes either. I mean, I guess there's nothing wrong with that. There's a reason why people do. But I'm not here to help people that are selling recipes on eBay. I'm here to try to help people that are selling tangible goods on eBay. If you're a drop shipper, you're in the wrong channel. This is not going to help you any. While policy discussions might be helpful to you, I can certainly tell you that on this channel, we really don't endorse drop shipping or any ketchup packet salesperson or anything like that. So, but my mistake is the fact that I was looking at trying to grab, of course, in my mind, small items is always my goal. But in doing so, you're going to grab $10, $15, $20 items. And while those are easy to list, those are easy to ship, and essentially easy to sell, it's not doing a whole lot for your sell-through rate. I mean, you might get a lot of sales. I've seen a lot of stores that get a lot of sales, but what are you doing for your end, the money you're making at the end of the month? For me, I had a lot of sales in December and January, but to make only $5,000, and that's not net, that's gross. So you take off the shipping, you take off the eBay fees, and it's no wonder why my bank account was going in the wrong direction and I was pulling my hair out. So I've learned that lesson. The lesson I want you guys to learn is that you should not focus or make your success based on how many items you've listed in a day. While that is good, that you are accountable to yourself, you're working your business, by all means, you should still try to get a lot of items listed. But at the end of the day, it's how many items have you sold should be your number one goal. Building a large store, I got to tell you, I'm sorry. I fell into that trap. I bumped my listings by a lot. My store went up in size, and I didn't see much more at all income at the end of the month. And so for me, it's focusing more on your ASP prices. I got to tell you, those items that are higher price in general are going to be higher demand. While, like for instance, these headphones, it seemed like everyone and their mother was selling these Sony headphones. And I was just sort of concerned by that. But I found the right price point. I sold out in 2 days. And you can't say the same thing about a $20 item. A $7,500, $150 item, it may seem like the market could be saturated, but trust me, you find that right price point, that stuff's going to fly. And if your cost of goods, I think I was in those headphones for about $20 a piece. If the cost of goods are where it needs to be to give yourself the room to bring your prices down to that pricing point, because we don't want to be a storage unit. We want to get rid of those items as quickly as possible. You will succeed in this platform. And unfortunately, I had to have my aha moment this last week. And I'm going to do whatever I can to get away. And it's funny, I had already bought a pallet of Amazon stuff that we picked up yesterday. And I really dreaded going to get it because I knew it was just not worth my time. But there's some items in there that we're going to weed out. We're going to go in and take about half the stuff that I have in these boxes out in the garage. We're going to lot it all in liquidation lots. People are getting their stimulus money here pretty soon, and they're going to be wanting to buy lots for resale. By all means, if people want to get out there and sell this $10, $15 stuff, then we're going to move it on to them. I'm going to do more focusing on larger ticket items, and that's going to be the key. And if you want to look up something right now that sort of shows you what I'm talking about, there's a store called Green Cells. That's GreenCells on eBay. Go check out their store. They're selling a lot of the same stuff that I'm selling, Costco, and they're killing it. And they only have 180 items in their store. And it just shows you don't have to put all this crazy effort into this business to make money. And my tip to you guys is, you may not be selling electronics, but what I would say to you is go on, find the very item you're selling, search for it, look at the solds, see who else is selling this, look at their stores, see if you can come across a store that is very much resembles yours, and see how their sales look. You can simply click on items for sale under that seller and click on the sold tab down the left side, and it'll show you what they've sold. And you kind of go through and compare, how am I performing as compared to them? And that can tell you what you might be doing right or wrong. If they're, let's say, outselling you, you might be able to pick up some pointers and see what they're doing differently. Because I can talk to you about electronics all day, but if you're in collectibles, if you're in clothing, if you're doing things that I'm not doing, then, it's really trying to compare apples and oranges. And you need to do your own research. Take the time, just as you would take the time to enter in this stuff into a spreadsheet to figure out where your numbers are. Take the time to research your competition, because if you're not, you're going to be falling short. And, had I not done this, part of this is doing the research of my competition. They're not playing around with $5, $10, $15, $20 items. Maybe on the low end, but not on the average end. And that's what I've been doing. It's going to change, because here I'm not here to play games. I'm here to support myself. I don't want to make just enough to pay my bills. Well, that's fine. I want to be able to put money aside for a rainy day, and I'm sure many of you guys want to as well. But that's one of the main things I wanted to talk to you guys about. If you have any questions about what I discussed, please put that down below. That's sort of the heart of this discussion today. I'm doing this despite having what I know is a corrupt account. If you watch my last video, this particular store is just messed up. eBay can't even tell me if I am a individual or a business seller. They have no idea, and they had to call me back. They promised me a call back, and guess what? They didn't. And it's probably because they still couldn't give me an answer, so they're not going to bother with the callback. I don't know. We're dealing with the on-hold issue. Many of you have put notes into the chat or the comment section from the last video saying that you were encountering all kinds of problems. And I know it's not just me that has some kind of a weird account going on with eBay, but it wasn't like this before August of last year when they migrated most accounts over. And those of us who were on an existing managed payments account, we were sort of in the beta program. I know what they did. They migrated that beta program to what everyone else was being migrated over to. And I think something in the beta screwed me up. They fixed part of the problem last September, and they just didn't drill down enough to realize there's other problems going on with my account. So let's get on to the live stream chat. We see we have 24 people here. Thank you for tuning in. It's awesome to me. It's amazing to me how after a year of doing this that there's a number of you who care enough or interested enough out of your day to show up and participate in this live stream. It's quite awesome. Lanny Steele, I believe you're in Australia. So hello to you out there. With the large haul, do you track the average cost of goods or do you itemize individually if you have that information on hand? So what I will do, and sometimes it gives me a negative number on some of the smaller items, is I will itemize my cost of goods. Let's say I have 100 items in this lot. And a lot of the times I'll have a manifest. So I'll take this lot of 100 items, and if it was $1,000, I know that my average cost of goods is $10 an item. I think that's right. So I then take that number, I'll take the items in that spreadsheet or in the manifest, put them on my spreadsheet, and in the column, I will go down with that particular number, whether it's $10, $5, $9, and that's the assigned cost of goods. Now, if I have a $10 item in that lot, that just means that at the end of the day, after eBay fees and shipping, it's going to show me a negative balance. But it's good to show that because I'm still recouping some of that initial investment back if that item sells. And so I do track the average cost of goods. I tried to come up with a way to sort of cost average out. Let's say I have a $400 Onkyo receiver and a $20 pair of headphones. I tried to cost average it out so it doesn't look like my cost on those headphones is $20, but I don't want to spend a lot of time trying to figure that information out. So I know that at the end of the day, the goal is to sell all these items and it'll all take care of itself out in the end. So great question. If you are buying these items individually, like at a yard sale, or maybe you're sourcing Walmart liquidation or Walmart clearance items, certainly take your receipt, find out what your cost of items is for that particular item. That's what you should be doing. But if you're buying lots, you should just cost average it out. Just take the average. It's the easiest way to do it. Take the number of items that are sellable. Now, you should probably weed out the bad items. Broken, let's say there's flaws in it, you're not going to bother selling it. You're going to throw it in the trash. Take those items out, take the actual number, and then give yourself an average cost of goods that way. Let's see. We have a question here. The Thrifty Spender. John, what is your sell-through rate? And my sell-through rate, I believe, and I don't think I dove that deeply into my numbers. I think it's around 50%, if I'm not mistaken. And I can tell you my margin. And one thing I wanted to tell you as well is my margin for both the Amazon liquidation lots and the Costco liquidation. You think the Costco would be probably a huge margin because of the fact that ever since I've been selling the Costco stuff, my sales have been going through the roof. But really, it's about the same. I think it was 52% is my margin. That's your profit after fees, eBay fees, shipping, and all that. 52% was Amazon. 54% is Costco. And so it's not like I'm doing anything differently. I'm making the same number of listings. I'm doing everything I was doing before, but it's now I'm dealing with a more expensive item, more in demand items, and it's just uncanny. There's no way to explain it other than my theory is this. If the item has more value, even if it's in a saturated market, if you price it correctly to where you have room to make money, it will sell faster than if you have a $20 item in the same saturated market and you may have less room to make money because your cost of goods might be a little higher on average. But what I'm saying is it's going to be harder to move that item unless you really bring it down. And so I've learned that lesson. Hopefully you guys can too. Rated Forever, quality over quantity. That's what you're saying, John. That's exactly what I'm saying. And unfortunately, we're listening to a lot of people. I am also guilty of that. While I'm doing my shipping, I'll fire up a bunch of YouTube videos, and you're like, wow, they have 10,000 items in their store. Now, granted, they don't even have the same items I have. They have a total different niche than I have. But it's like, wow, and they're making $1,500 a day, and that's where I want to be. But you don't have to have 10,000 items in your store to make $1,500 a day. I've had this last week 3 days of $1,500, and knock on wood, let's hope it continues. But I can look at my inventory right now, and I can tell you that it's not going to continue unless I continue to source, because of course a lot of my better items have now been sold. So I still have a lot of stuff from these Costco pallets. A lot of the stuff I don't want to deal with, and that's something I have to really get myself focused on more, is motivated to sell or list these items I don't want to bother with. We're talking the large speakers, the sound bars, the speaker systems, the home theater systems. I simply just got to do the work, and you have to do the work as well. But I know that if I do the work on a $200, $300 item that's maybe just a pain in the butt, it's going to take me 2 to 3 times longer to actually get that item up. It's a lot better in my eyes than to have to spend the same effort on 10 items that are going to make me the same money as this one item is making me. If that makes any sense to you. So don't fall for that trap. If you have a business model where you have a lot of stuff in your store and it's working for you, by all means, knock yourself out. But for me, and for those of you who are trying to figure this out as well, who may not have figured it out like you have, I'm telling you, from my experiences, it is just like Rated Forever said here. It is quality over quantity. And I'm sorry, Rated Forever. I know you said this to me before, and I'm just a hardhead, and it takes me my own experiences to actually see that. Rated Forever also said, so it's stated in my email about managed payments that all sellers will be in managed payments by the end of 2021. However, it didn't state the exact date that this will take effect, an actual date. Well, unfortunately, eBay won't give an actual date. Last year, they told me that their goal, and we know how eBay is about goals, was to have this done by mid-2021. And last time I spoke to a rep about last week, when I asked them that question, it was the end of 2021. So it could be mid-2022. We don't know. But that's what eBay is telling us. That's what their reps in managed payments know. And like I said, when this first rolled out, I think they've bit off too much they can chew. We all wish that this never happened and PayPal was the way to go. But unfortunately, we have to play by their rules, their game, their payment system if we want to continue. I just had a conversation with my daughter, and I'm going to throw her out there like this, and I apologize to her. She's going to hate me. But I went to just check on her store, and it's like, why doesn't she have anything in her store? And it's because she didn't even know. She sells mostly on Poshmark. She doesn't really mess with eBay too much. It's because she didn't even realize that that message that eBay sent her was like a true deadline. We want you to switch over to managed payments by this date. And if not, well, you're not going to sell. And not only that, her listings aren't there. So, while you may not want to switch over to managed payments, you need to just bite the bullet. And of course, a lot of you guys will talk about how you're leaving the platform, and I just don't see it. We're talking Mercari, we're talking Poshmark, we're talking Etsy. If those places sell well for you, then by all means. But you're looking at walking away from all this traffic that eBay provides you, and I just don't see how you can still be as successful if you allow this to disrupt your business. So, really consider that. Don't make that mistake unless you're sure that you're going to be able to move your inventory without eBay. D Scud, want to thank you for the super chat, $2. I appreciate that. Ask me any questions if you have them. I'll be glad to answer them for you. Lanny again in Australia. Yes, in Australia, we're moving to managed payments in March on the 31st. I don't trust eBay without managed payments, and now I sure as hell don't trust eBay to be managing my money. Also, eBay giving out $50 to sign up to manage payments was legit. I don't doubt that $50 being legit, because when I signed up for managed payments, they were offering a $10,000 sweepstakes. If you sign up for managed payments, we're offering this to so many sellers. So I thought, okay, well, there's a chance I can win $10,000. And I knew in the back of my mind that it was inevitable anyway. They were going to make me switch. So I just went ahead and switched over. I can tell you, I have not had any problems receiving deposits. Other than the stupid stuff that's in my account showing that they still have $51 on hold from a June transaction. Some other stuff in my available funds with negative balances that need to be taken away, and they're talking to me that they're going to take it away, but we'll see. It's still there. Aside from that, I'm still getting paid. I haven't had any problems with payments, and to be honest with you, I've had a couple of people try to do chargebacks, one saying that they didn't recognize the transaction, and another on a $1,200 item that tried to state that the merchandise was damaged, and eBay went to bat for me, and I won those cases. So it's not all bad. Yes, you're right. They're not a bank. They're not set up that way. But honestly, they're not doing that bad of a job. And this is coming from someone who knows that managed payments has jacked up my account. Because I'm not just talking about me. I'm talking about all the different people I interact with that have told me that they're fine. There's no problems with their payments. They're happy with it. They were maybe led to feel by watching a lot of these videos, including mine, that this is going to be just the worst thing, and it's not that bad. And I think sometimes the fear of the unknown will make us worry more about stuff that just doesn't happen. In fact, just a life lesson that I've learned is that 90% of the stuff in life in general that we worry about never happens. Never happens. I mean, it may happen, but it doesn't. You're not dealing with all the effects that you thought were going to happen as a result of it. So, it really doesn't do a whole lot of good to worry. Maybe focusing on things that you can control is probably the best thing, I would say. And in this case, you can't control managed payments unless you don't want to sell on the eBay platform. I would just roll with the punches, and if it doesn't work, then stop selling on eBay. But for me, there's no other platform that's going to replace the traffic. So that's why I stay. I see. Hi, John. Thanks for doing this. Do you always buy insurance when shipping? Do you include on shipping charges to buyer? So if the item is over, I believe, $200, then I will go in and I will pay to insure the item. Now, a lot of times, like I have this Onkyo receiver, it's like 15 pounds, 20 pounds, whatever, after it's in the box. I won't ship that by USPS. I'll tell UPS or FedEx, depending on the prices and all that. I will tell them the value of the item, and then they automatically charge me for insurance. And really, I don't include that. It's a charge that I do. It's more for my own safeguarding. I don't want to have an item just not show up, and now I have to give a $400 refund for an item that was lost in the mail or was damaged or badly broken. You see these stories all the time about maybe a FedEx truck or UPS truck catching on fire, or something like that, getting into an accident. I don't want my merchandise ruined by that, and I don't want to be the one holding the bag and having to give a refund, and now it's just I'm out money. So definitely find what works best for you, but in my mind, it's around $200. Wanda Greer, selling high ticket, are you not concerned about renters who only want to jerk your chain and return things? It doesn't happen as often as you think. Now, if you sell 50 items and that one time it happens, in your mind, it's like, oh my God, this happened. I can't believe it happened. I don't want to sell here anymore. There's a bunch of scammers. But if you really look at the numbers, if you look at how often it happens compared to the number of times you make a sale, and that's why they call it's the cost of doing business, you would reconsider that. And for me, I know that if they send me back something that's not the same item that I sent them, not in the same condition, missing accessories, I am going to at least get half of that money back anyway. And if if there's something that comes back, maybe I can part it out. Maybe I can sell it for parts or repair if they sent me something different. I'm not going to be out 100%. I'll still be out a little bit, and it sucks. I hate dealing with customers like that, and I don't even want to call them a customer because they had no intention of buying my item in the first place. They wanted to swap out their old unit. It's going to happen in this business. It's going to happen the more items you sell, but when you look at the numbers, it's not happening all that often. And it's been months since it's happened to me, and I've sold probably a couple thousand items since then. So don't let that discourage you from selling on this platform or any other platform for that matter. Lanny, that rep sounded very promising about following up with a call. That shows they can't be trusted and their customer service sucks. Yeah, nothing more. There's nothing more convincing to me when a rep says, "Well, I never not call people back. That it's just I always call people back. I can't explain why others haven't called you back, but when I say I'm going to call you back, I'm going to call you back." Well, I know his name. His name is Robert, and he's in managed payments. I don't know if he's in Texas or Utah. He's in the United States, and still waiting for your call, buddy. And it's horrible. And I worked in the call center. You never promise a customer something that you cannot deliver, and you never give information unless you're 100% about that information. Andrew Merritt. Hello, Andrew. John, I've been using your 40/40 plan for buying pallets products, and it has really changed the game for me. It works. It does take discipline. Thank you. You're the first one that's given me feedback on that. I'm glad you're using it. It does work. And sometimes, and I've had to use that with the Costco pallets, sometimes you could bump that up to 50/50, but never any more than that. So what he's talking about is, for those of you who haven't watched my videos before, let's take that $1,000 lot. And that 40/40 method is this. This is how you actually know how much you should be buying this for. You take 40%, which is the first 40, and you multiply that by your lot size or your lot value. So in this case, it's $1,000. That means that we come up with 400. That is what we plan on making at the very minimum on this lot. Now you then take that $400, you multiply it by 40% again, and that gives you $160. That's what you should be into this for. That's after, fees, shipping, you name it. That's what you should be into it for. Now, if you really find an item that's a hot item, that's moving, that is going to sell, and you really want it, then 50/50. So you take that same $1,000 lot, multiply it by 0.5, you get 500, and you should expect to make 500 on that. And a lot of times, these numbers are just giving you the low. I'm usually selling for more than 40-50% of what the value is. And you'll take that $500 and you'll multiply it by 50% again, or 0.5, and you'll be into that for $250, no more. And you have to walk away from the item. And as my lovely wife would say, discipline is key. There are many times that I get so excited about a pallet, and because I am disciplined, I walk away, sometimes with coaching from her, and sometimes with scolding from her as well, when that truck pulls up with large speakers and large sound bars, and I just kind of go, yeah, I know, I'm sorry. And these are all lessons we learn. Nobody has this game down pat. I'm learning as I go, and if you guys had all the answers, you wouldn't be tuning into my live stream right now. We all are learning as we go. These questions you're asking are important because we're all learning from each other. I just happen to be the one in front of the microphone. There's many live streams I go on, and I learn by watching what they're talking about, watching what's going on in the comments, and we're always trying to learn. If you have this game down pat, then hey, I'm glad for you. It's working out, but we're here to learn from each other, and that's what this channel is about. So yeah, there's many times that I will end up with a lot that I really, really like, and I get so excited about it. I set my alarm so that I can snipe it. What that means is about 5 minutes before the end of the listing, what happens is the clock usually works on these liquidation lots. When it hits 5 minutes, any bids within 5 minutes, it extends the timer. So what I try to do is I try to hit that bid right before that 5 minute mark hits, so that the person who's the high bidder doesn't see that time change, and maybe they're not paying attention, and that last 5 minute expires and they think they're the top bidder, and they're not. Because what happens is if I wait for a minute or two to be left in that listing and finally bid, it'll add like sometimes 10 minutes. And then that person's like, oh, it should have ended by now. Oh, someone outbidded me. So that's just one of the tips that I use, and it works. But yeah, you can't get too invested in what you're buying. Whether you're at a yard sale, you might have the loveliest item available to you, and you specialize in these items. You know it's going to sell. But if that person that's sitting there at the yard sale wants eBay prices for it, you got to walk away. You have to be disciplined. You have to know what your numbers are before you go in. That's why that 40-40 model works so well, because it gives you a point. There's no arguing. It's if you're doing this for a business, then you have to stick to those numbers. And you may find that you come across 10 lots and you get nothing that day, and it can be discouraging. But tomorrow, you may find another 10 lots and get 2 or 3 of them. It's no different than going to a thrift store, walking away empty-handed because either the prices are too high or they don't have good merchandise. So, it's all the same. We're just sourcing differently. You can apply this 40-40 model to anything. You could take a $10 item that you find for sale at the thrift store, know that you're going to make $4, which I hope that you're not sourcing that way. But if it's priced anything more than $1.50, you should walk away. And that's just a very generic example, because we're not talking about fees or shipping, but you get the idea. Use that formula, and it's going to help your sourcing. As you see with the numbers I've given you at the beginning of this video, my numbers have changed dramatically, and it has nothing to do with anything. I didn't change the way I list. I didn't change anything. The number of listings, I only changed what I was selling and what I was buying. And that's what you can control. By all means, if you want to beef up your store to be 10,000 listings, if you want to do 100 a day, and by the end of the day your eyes are so shot you can't see a screen, you can't even sit down and watch television because your head hurts so bad, then by all means, that's what you're going to do. But like most of you out there, we don't have employees. We have to do this ourselves. We have to make the most out of the time that we have. And this, for me, is going to be the way that we go from here on out. And I'm excited, very excited. And I'll be sharing that experience with you guys as we go. We have Rocky in the house here. I made my account yesterday. Can you go through SEO tips, please? That's search engine optimization. Number 1 is your title. Now, when you're selling on this platform, you definitely have to think as a customer. What is your customer typing in to find that item? If you have just a generic item, like a lot of the items that I found in some of these Amazon liquidation lots, you're not going to put that name as the first thing in that title. No one's looking for that name. You are a person that is selling an item to meet a customer's need. So what is that customer looking for? Like, for instance, I get all these massage guns, and they're between $60 and $100 on eBay, and they all have weird names, weird brands. And I'm not going to waste that first word for that brand name. I might not even put it at all in the listing. You're going to take that and put massage gun, sore muscles, whatever. What is a customer going to type into that eBay search or Google search? Now keep that in mind. If you ever go into your performance and your summary, when you look at your traffic, and I think it's your seller hub, performance, traffic, click on that and you'll see what looks like a teal and blue bar for that particular day. And the blue part of that is your external source traffic, and most of it's Google, because eBay has a thing worked out with Google. That's why it's so important for you to fill in those item specifics completely. Even if you don't have the answer, put NA or unknown or whatever, because when you complete that circle in that lister, that little, looks like a little lightning bolt and its circle around it, that's telling eBay that you've done your part. When that customer searches for those things in the Google search, it may show, like the shopping at the top, it might show your listing. I've seen my listing many times at the top of a Google search. So just keep that in mind. Your photos are very important. Many times you see a lot of good sellers that they use their dining room table. They may have a decent photo, decent background, but those items will never appear in a Google search for the most part, because Google wants the white, very clear background. And if you don't have that, you're losing a lot of opportunity. My wife actually stumbled across Photo Room. It's an app that you can get on Android or iPhone. It's free for the most part. However, I watched this video, and the idea of having 100 photos I can have with a clear background, like a stock photo, within 5 minutes, and it does all the work. You don't have to outline anything. That sold me, and that, of course, that's a feature that they implement in the paid part. I think I paid $60 for the year on the iPhone, and you can do one at a time. It'll probably take you like a half an hour to do something that would take in 5 minutes. But that's still an awesome tool, and that's going to help you as well. And the last thing I would say, search engine optimization, is if you are overpricing your items, you are not going to sell as fast as you can. So find, for the condition you are selling for, find the actual price. Now, what I do is I'll find about 3 or 4 of the same item, same condition, and I will try to start near the high part of, and this is for the solds, by the way, not what's being listed. Look at the solds, and I will start with the high range. So if this item sells between $25 and $30, I'll start at $29.99. And because I know that I'm going to submit offers to watchers, I'm also going to have sales, and I can bring it down. I have room to work with. And after a while, if it doesn't sell, bring it down a couple bucks. And after a while, you're going to find your number. When you find your number, it's going to sell, and you're going to be able to maximize your profits on that item. And just like I did with these headphones, I'm pleased. I wish I had more, because and I'm going to get more. I know I will. But for right now, I just have to wait for the right deal, the right deal with the liquidation. Wanda Greer says, thanks. Thank you, Wanda, for tuning in today on Sunday. I'm not quite sure what is the best day to do these. For me, it's either a Saturday or a Sunday, because Monday through Friday, well, every day of the week I work, to be honest with you. My wife gets on me. But we do most of our work Monday through Friday. We went yesterday to, if you've never been to it, it's about 40 miles outside of Las Vegas. And it's just an awesome state park. And it is the, oh my goodness, I'm totally spacing it here. It is the, Jenna, if you're out there, please help me. I am having a brain freeze. My mind is so focused on eBay, I couldn't even tell you where I went yesterday. And I'll get that to you in a minute. But it's an awesome place. It should be a national park as far as I'm concerned. Gosh, what is it? Something of fire. No, not Red Rocks. Red Rocks, it's on the other side by Summerlin. That's kind of cool. Red Rock is a place where you can kind of go and, do a little driving tour around. And, okay, Valley of Fire is where I went. Thanks, Jenna. Valley of Fire. And I don't know why I totally spaced it. But when you first drive into there, it's kind of cool. But when you start driving further into it, it's like, wow. We even came across a bikini photo shoot. People taking, like a bikini shoot, and the beauty of the area around it was just really cool. There's a lot of people there, and it's just amazing, some of these places. But just to get away from eBay and to get out there and to walk around and get the fresh air. It was like 75 degrees, no wind. It was just no clouds in the sky. It was absolutely awesome. We spent a few hours out there and came home. But I got home and I listed a couple items. That's just me. I just don't know if I'll ever be able to take a day off. My mind is always thinking about this business, always thinking about my YouTube channel too, trying to do better with it. And that's the goal, is to try to improve every day. Okay, so Rahi, I'm new. What is the 40/40 model? I think I covered it early in the video. Essentially, you take the cost of whatever you're buying, multiply it by 40. That's what you're going to make. Multiply that by 40 or 0.40. That's what you want to spend on it. No more than that. And rewind the video, go play it back, and I explained it there. And I have other videos too. I have a video that in the title it says 40/40 method, and it'll go into deeper detail. But it does work. Lanny, have you managed to look into the Reseller Genie, the inventory tracking system? I have heard of that. In fact, it's something I want to do. Really, I just don't want to get invested in all these things. I have List Perfectly. I had InkFrog for my VA, but that's no good. I mean, that's so slow. It's just such a slow process. It's so much easier to piggyback off an existing eBay listing. But it's something I'm going to look into. I have my VA working on taking my items from eBay to Mercari. Hopefully in the next week or so, that'll be all moved over. Andrew, I sell electronics, mostly computer items such as Apple products. Would my title be better starting with Apple or laptop or MacBook, etc.? So here's the thing. Think about your customer. A lot of times they're going to be looking for Apple. They're buying shoes. They're going to look for Nike. They're going to look for Adidas, right? So you want that to be the first word in the title. But if you have something like, I don't know, heck, I'm looking around just to see if I have, here's something here. I have this thermometer, okay? And it's open box item, looks new actually. Dual mode thermometer, it's named by Good Baby. So how many of your customers are going to go in and type in Good Baby in the listing? Probably none, because this is an Amazon item, and if they bought this before and they want it, they just love the Good Baby product, they're probably not going to go to eBay. They're probably going to go back to where it's originally offered, which is Amazon. And so in this case, I would put dual mode thermometer, non-contact, that kind of thing. And you're also, another trick that I learned when I was doing the drop shipping business, and yeah, I did drop shipping, for those of you who don't know. I did that when I was working full time. And I followed I think his name is Paul Lipsky. He also does videos on YouTube. I followed his method, and it was okay. I mean, making 5% margin wasn't all that hot. But the fact that I didn't have to handle anything, didn't have to list a tangible item, didn't have to take photos of it, I could just use what others were using and use the source photos and information from like Amazon. I still use those tactics today. If, for instance, I look for this thermometer on eBay and I see that someone sold this thermometer for like $30 a pop all day long, you better believe I'm going to go and piggyback off their listing, and I'm going to use their title. In fact, eBay, when you go onto their app and you click on sell one like this, it keeps their title in there. Even eBay knows that it's worked before, that title, to sell that item, and it's going to work again. You can modify it, but for me, unless I see something, unless they put Good Baby in there, I'll take Good Baby out and take that information out and put that title in. You always want to think of it when you're listing your items in terms of what your customer is going to put in that search engine, but also take what works. If a title has worked for you, or for not you, but for someone else, if you're looking at the solds like you should be, then by all means, use that title. And if it doesn't work after a while, go back in and change it. You're not stuck with that title. You can always go back and change it. Now, I do have the caveat, which really irritates me, is if I send an offer to Watcher, I can't change a thing in that listing for 48 hours. Whether it's a title, I think I could change the price. But other than that, I can't change anything. I have to actually go in and end the listing and relist it. And all those people who are watching my listing have to find it again. So that's just really, really irritating to me. Lanny, do you promote some or all of your listings? Do you have a specific setup? So when you're promoting your listings, it's very important that you kind of see what your competition is. If I have an item, like the other day I had an item and I think there was only one other item being sold and I was going to beat that price anyway, I really don't need to promote that listing. And so what I'll do is I'll do the 1% game. Just I won't use the recommended promoted listing number. And what's weird to me is I actually discovered that eBay that number is like random, it seems to me. I had two very similar items in different condition. One was brand new, one was open box. Of course, eBay doesn't like you listing the same item, but I changed the title. So I had two different listings for two different conditions. And I noticed that the recommended promoted listings for one was like 7.7% and the other one was like 3.4%. And it's like, okay, wait, we're talking about the same item here. How are you coming up with these numbers? So for me, it is total, I don't know. I just do 1% when I do promote. If I am dealing with an item that has average or higher competition. So look at your competition. If it's low competition, at least start off. Don't put any promoted. If after your item's sitting there for a month, by all means, add promoted to it. Maybe that'll help. Maybe it's something else. Maybe it's your title. Maybe it's your price. There's a lot of things that go into this algorithm. Unfortunately, eBay doesn't give us a rule book on how to play the game. They want us to figure it out. But that was a very good question. This is from IC. Is taking photos of packing, shipping process of sold items a good idea? Buyer made a condition complaint. You have proof. But the problem is, like for instance, I receive an item from a customer and I video the unboxing of this item. To me, I would only bother doing that if it was a high ticket item. And if, for instance, an item defrauds you, let's say they send back something that's not, you can do more than just take 50% off of the refund. You can actually go to ic3.gov, file, and I believe this is a fraud complaint. So it's like filing a police report. You file that, you get I believe a police report number, you contact eBay, and you provide them that and any proof or photos you might have. But honestly, I just can't fathom every big ticket item just taking a photo and thinking that there's going to be an issue. If you have that return, like I said, that's a large ticket item, by all means, record that with your phone while you open it, so that if it ever gets to that level, filing a fraud complaint, that's something that could work for you. Now, what happens with a fraud complaint with eBay? I spoke to a rep, and this is not in policy. This is one of those unwritten policies that eBay has, that if you provide them with that information from ic3.gov, they will, in many cases, give you your full refund. And, it's filing a report on ic3.gov is like filing a report with a police officer. You don't want to go up there filing a false claim. I mean, if it's the customer sending a legitimate return and you just screwed up, or maybe it was damaged or whatever, don't try to get your money back that way, because you're breaking the law. But that is a tool that you can use if you get defrauded. So I'm not too worried about it, to be honest with you. This is coming from someone who almost got defrauded out of a $1,200 server, and thankfully that didn't happen. It took a few months to get resolved. That money was on hold the whole time, but thankfully I trusted the process. And sometimes that's the hardest thing, trusting the process. That's why a lot of people have a problem switching from PayPal that they know works over to managed payments. I'm trusting the process, and I have problems with my account. And so I urge you to do the same. Rated Forever, I have no idea what is going on, but your live video is pausing once in a while, and I have to keep refreshing. I don't know why. It's my internet. It must be. I have what is called Gigablast, and it's 1,000 megabits per second, And I think that thing I'm hardwired to my modem, and I'm getting like 800 or 900 megabytes per second. So it must be where you're at. Hopefully you get that resolved. But I'm looking through here. I don't see a whole lot more. I'm excited to answer any questions you guys have. Just while we're waiting for some questions, hopefully we get some. What we're doing today, we're not taking the day off. Of course, my wife is extra happy about that. We woke up this morning, went and had a couple bagels, and decided that we were going to get a jump on these lots. So when we're done here, we're going to go, and she has a lot of clothing lots that she's going to sort out. She has like a box or two full of brand new T-shirts that are from different colleges, and she just doesn't want to be bothered. They're like $5 or $10 items on eBay, and it's just not worth the time. So we're going to get those all lotted up. And like I said, when we picked up the stuff yesterday from Amazon, we literally were in the parking lot. I brought like 10 boxes with me, and it was one of those open face Gaylords that had all these items in it. And we're taking the item and we're looking at the condition. We're looking at what it shows up on the manifest. We had the manifest with us, and we're either putting it in box A for the good stuff that we can resell, that it's worth our time, or box B, we're not going to bother with it. We're going to lot it out. You will be surprised the number of people who would buy these customer return lots. Sometimes people buy mystery boxes. It's just amazing on Marketplace. And while I'm not going to give them garbage, I'm certainly going to throw away the stuff that's trash. These items that I don't want to bother with, that someone might, just people will take these things to flea markets, lay it out there, and people will buy them for $5 or $6, $10 a pop. And for those people who are willing to do that, spend the weekend at a flea market, you can make a killing doing that. And certainly, if that's something you do, it's something you should consider. There's a lot of stuff on Marketplace you can buy. Andrew, thoughts on free shipping versus pay shipping? When to offer free shipping and when not to? So my thoughts immediately go to a return label when I'm dealing with shipping. Is this item something that I'm going to want to pay for shipping on the way back, in addition to already have paid the shipping on the way out? So I know that if it's my fault, because I don't offer free returns, it's something that has to be my fault, where the customer would send the item back. If I'm already paying $20, $30 for that label, the thought of having to pay that again just doesn't sit well with me. So I will charge shipping for those larger items that I just don't want to deal with. It's the standard 2-pound item. Maybe anything under 2 pounds, I will offer free shipping for. But if it's anything more than that, and also I think a lot of sellers fall into this trap. It's one of those things where I'll offer free shipping. Let's say I'll sell this item for $30, and here comes this buyer who buys it, and they're off in Hawaii or Puerto Rico, and your item is now, you're actually now losing money, because after eBay fees and the cost of shipping, you're actually losing money. And let's hope they don't send that item back, because you're losing even more money. So you just have to look at your prices. And I think eBay wants everyone to offer free shipping. I think that's something that they've always said, and they're willing to reward you a top-rated seller plus for that. But it's not worth it. If the market says this item's only worth $30, I would rather go in and list it for $9.99 plus calculated shipping, and maybe they can get a deal if they're close to me. It'll be like 20-something bucks. And for them, maybe I'd lose a couple bucks, but it's not worth the headache, because I don't refund that initial shipping cost should they change their mind. SYVS, how long does it take for you to create a video? Well, it really depends. A lot of times it'll take hours, and a lot of times I'm taking the time that I use just on the phone with eBay, and I'll take the information that I get from eBay. Maybe I have all the time I have a legitimate problem when I'm calling eBay. I'm not just calling up to pick their brain, or having them call me back to just pick their brain. But usually it's a problem that I'm having, and then while I'm on the phone with them, if I'm in the right department or with the right person or with someone that I think has, this is just wrong to say, but it's what I'm thinking. If they have more than 2 brain cells to rub together, I will ask them questions that pertain to a lot of these videos. And or like, for instance, there's folks that are asking me questions in the comments on my videos. I will take the time to try to find that answer out by talking to someone like in managed payments, for instance. And that takes time. If I can't find the answer or I can't get a call back, I'll do the research. A lot of these videos are just doing research. For me, it's easy. I'll get my area set up. I'll get the lighting. I'll get everything going, and it'll take me about 30 minutes to make a video, 30-40 minutes. Then what I'll do is I'll transfer everything to my iPad where I do my iMovie, have all my stuff on my iPad, and I'll just slap my headphones on and I'll go to making that video, and that'll take me another 45 minutes. So every time I make a video, count on about 2 to 3 hours on average for that video. And but I enjoy it. It's not like I don't enjoy it. I try to add little things to the video to sort of make it interesting. What do you guys think about the videos? Is there anything I need to add? Am I doing too much? I'm trying to make these videos at least somewhat entertaining, because I've been told that on a couple of occasions that people like to watch my videos so they can fall asleep. So I hope that's not the whole purpose of these videos. For some of you, hopefully you're getting good information out of them. The Flipping Sports Guy. I think about promoted listing sales because that cuts into free shipping costs and that you built into your price. Right. So you should certainly build that into your price, and you should think about that when you're sourcing. What is this item selling for? When you're sourcing, you should always be looking at the eBay solds and get an idea of what that's going to cost you to ship. Worst case scenario, in this case for me, I dread shipping to Puerto Rico because if I'm dealing with a large item, I know I can't send it FedEx or UPS. It's going to go USPS, and they charge a lot more for large items. So I generally don't go any more than 1% on promoted listings. And I'm always looking at the fact that 13% is coming off the top for eBay, and if they're doing a promoted listing, add another 1% to that. And my shipping, I think on a $20 item, if it's more than a pound, you're going to be paying $8. Lanny, I offer free shipping with returns. Your buyer pays for return shipping, but when refunding, can you refund minus your initial shipping cost? Yes. In fact, when you do a refund on managed payments, when you're in that refund tool, there's a little tab or whatever you call it, like a button that you can click to refund original shipping if you have charged shipping on the side. If you offer free returns, or actually free shipping, there's no button for that. So that's built into the cost of your item, and you're not going to be able to take advantage of that. That's another benefit to offering calculated shipping versus free shipping, because you can retain that part of the refund. Let's see. SYVS, thank you for sharing your experience with eBay. I love selling on eBay. And don't get me wrong with the videos I make. Sometimes I come off as, I've been told, a complainer, but I get very passionate about things. And when I'm dealing with these issues that I'm having with my account, it ticks me off. And I want to share that experience with you. I'm not going to come in here with pictures of rainbows and unicorns behind me, all smiles, telling you how damaged my account is, but it's going to be okay. It's not okay. And eBay, I hope you're watching these videos because you need to get your act together. We are trying to run a business, and sometimes it seems like you're more looking forward to appeasing your investors than you are your sellers. And you need to change that mindset, because it's the sellers that keep your platform going. If every seller left this platform, these buyers would be showing up and with nothing to buy. So you need to realize that and stop spending resources on celebration events, sending us shot glasses, and figure out how you can best help your sellers. And hopefully I can give you some more content that's going to be a little happier than the last one. I see. What is your ideal shipping station setup? I just revamped mine with a rack in a closet and an old computer table in front. I recycle boxes, which are a pain to organize. Any hints? Thanks. And I'm not laughing at you, IC. I'm laughing at myself, because my shipping station is my lap. As crazy as that sounds. I will go in, I'll fire up my computer, I'll find the items that I need to pull. So I'll go and pick those items off the shelves, bring them back to where I'm sitting right now. And I have my tape guns, I have my bubble wrap right around my feet, I have my poly bags here behind me. Grab what I need, boom, 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 throw it on my scale right here, weigh it, measure it, boom, done. I have a bin right here. I put my packages in my USPS bin. If it's not a USPS package, I have a little table back here that I'll throw those FedEx packages on, UPS packages on. By all means, if you want to stand and do that, I just don't have it set up in here that way. And I just, you know what, I'm listening to my YouTube information, other YouTubers that's going off in the background while I'm doing my shipping. It's my daily routine. I'll be doing that tonight. I have about 20 items that I have to ship tonight for Monday, for tomorrow, because I don't want to wake up tomorrow and use all my fresh energy to ship items. I really like getting it done. When you're done, you feel like tomorrow I can have a plan that's not really involved. Now, you can't control your overnight shipping, but at least I can get a start, maybe a few packages to ship, but then get a jump on the rest of my day. I think that really helps. If all that stuff that you have, like, if I had to work out of my garage, I'd have the same kind of setup that you do. The only thing I really do in my garage is I go through and I check the contents that I'm going to be listing. I make sure that they're good, test things out there, and I have my photo booth out there. And lately, I've been using the app. So all I have to do after I take the photos, list it, assign a rack or a shelf, go place it, come right back out and continue. So it may not be ideal for everyone. For me, it works. And hey, I work from the time I get up into the time I go to bed sometimes. Sometimes I'll get out here at 9 a.m. and start working. And that's kind of late for a lot of you guys. But because I work late, I'll work until 10, 11, 12 o'clock. The other night, I didn't go to bed till I didn't get done working down here until like about 1 in the morning. And but I don't mind doing it, because when you own your own business, I don't have a boss over my shoulder telling me, hey, you need to do this, you need to do that. It's me. I'm my own boss. And that in itself motivates me to put in those extra hours. And I'm good with that. And when I look at my, my deposits, when I look at my charts on eBay, it tells me that it's working. And then I know that's tied into what we talked about earlier with the sourcing, but I guarantee you, if your numbers are on the uptick, it's a lot more motivating I'm a lot more motivated now than I was in January. Let me put it that way. SYVS, I like that they are quick to the point. Yes, I agree. Lanny, any tips for people thinking about starting a YouTube channel? Well, I would say that you have to be patient. I got lucky, and I happen to, as a YouTuber, you should be doing what you're doing right now, and that is participating in other live streams, participating in other videos, and getting yourself known as just a consistent commenter on YouTube videos. And once you get started, you can maybe mention to that YouTuber, hey, I have this YouTube channel, I have about 10 videos, take a look at the content if you have a chance, and tell me what you think. And, work with me, Crazy New York Driver, Joe DeMarco. He was really helpful with me, and he went out on a limb and said, hey, here's a channel that you can check out. Flip It Ain't Easy, and go on over and do that. Even though he was burned before with another person who got the shout out and totally just stopped doing it because it was too much work. And so I'm thankful that he did that. And I'm still trying to, reach out to grow my channel to other YouTubers. I think it's important. I think that as a community, there's a lot of people out there that are looking for information. And I think that, when I first started, I thought, no one's going to watch my videos. And even after the first 6 months, I told my family, I said, you guys just subscribe to my channel. I said, just a bunch of friends and family that are watching me. And I was wrong. And you just have to be patient. The first year is going to be kind of slow. Like I said, I got lucky, got those initial views, came out with a video that still is my top performing video today. It's about managed payments versus PayPal. I think I put that out in July of last year, and I'm getting a lot of people watching my channel just because of that one video. So the worst thing that you can do, the number one mistake YouTubers make is not getting started and just kicking the can and thinking that you don't have enough or good content. Your first 10, 12, 20 videos are going to suck. And I went back, it's funny. I have some videos on this channel right now that have less than 100 views, I think. And I went back and they weren't all that good, but they weren't all that bad either. But it's just like nobody knew who I was. And no one's willing to go back and look at information from a year and a half ago. So it is what it is. You know, just get started. You'll be happy you did. And as long as I'm out here providing good information, like for instance, I made a video Thursday night. And I didn't tell you guys this, but I did a video Thursday night. It was about these numbers and everything. And I came out here, made the video, went upstairs and started editing the video. And after about a half an hour of editing, I think it was halfway through the video, I said, you know what? No, this is not going to go out. I'm done. And I will just make another video tomorrow. It, in my mind, wasn't the kind of video or the kind of quality that I think you guys deserve. I am not going to put out videos just for the sake of putting out videos, because it's not fair to you guys. It's not what this channel is about. There are people who will put out videos for the sake of putting out videos, and you can identify those YouTubers all day long. I won't call them out. It's not something that I do, but you can tell that they're just putting out videos just for the sake of the fact that they're going to make money off of it. And if I make money off of this, great. I do put in my time, and I think my time is worth that, whatever YouTube pays me, and I'm happy with that. But I'm not going to put out garbage and hope that you guys, are happy with it. And, by all means, I do hope that you guys provide me your feedback. If you say maybe I didn't do a good job on a video, please, I want to know, because that's what this channel is about, and I don't want garbage out there. And like my wife said, what topics do you want me to focus on? What type of videos interest you the most? And that's kind of what I want to know. I get a lot of people that say, hey, I want to see a lot of your unboxing videos, right? But then I put the video out and only like 200 people watch it, or 200 views. And it just makes me wonder, is this really what you guys want to see? So I need to know that. Please put it in your comments. I'd like to know what it is, or maybe the content's fine. Maybe it's the way I present it is not. So please let me know, and I'll do my best to try to keep getting better. I look forward to see what cap or t-shirt you'll wear next. Well, someone put a comment in about 6 months ago that they said, something about all I do is wear sports shirts, and I've got a ton of hats, but I don't want the focus to be what I'm glad you tune in, but I really don't want the focus to be what cap or shirt I'll wear. And I really don't like wearing the same thing over and over again. Someone got on me about wearing the NASA shirt, and it's just a t-shirt, and there's other things to focus on, but certainly I will try to change it up. Rated Forever. The thing with free shipping that the majority of buyers don't understand is that if they were to buy multiple items with free shipping from the same seller, they are paying more money versus paying for shipping and handling. Yes. And there's a number of sellers out there who will go in and do the, if I'm selling 5 items and I've calculated each one of them, it's only going to cost me $10 to ship these out, but the customer's paid $30. They'll go in and give them the difference back. And I'm okay with some of that, but I don't know about giving them the entire difference back. If it's only cost me $10 on the label to ship all 5 of these items out, and the customer spent $30, you got to consider that poly bags aren't free, tape isn't free, boxes aren't free for the most part, unless you're dumpster diving, that kind of thing. But that you have to take into your cost of business, and maybe giving them $10 to $15 back instead of $20 would be more reasonable. SYVS, you got a shot glass? LOL. I got 2 shot glasses. In fact, what I'm going to do here on, I think the next live stream, because I have, what do I have? I have 2 shot glasses. I have like a bunch of their stickers and some other stuff. I think we end up keeping the t-shirts they sent us, but I will try to do something creative on the next live stream to where I give those away. Because honestly, I don't drink. They're like these little tumbler shot glass type thing. It says the 25th year or whatever, eBay celebration or whatever. And I'm going to try to do something just to give that away to somebody who wants it. So we'll work on that on the next video. I'll try to come up with something, and we'll do some giveaways. It's something I want to do anyway for this channel. I want to try to do a lot more stuff for this channel. We were talking. I just went. I don't know what you guys think of the banner. If you ever had a chance to go check out the channel, went and had the Flippin' Ain't Easy banner redone with a logo. And tell me what you guys think about that. I'm thinking about getting some merch created at some point. Not just yet, but maybe down the line. And really, flipping ain't easy. It's not about me. It's about what it is. Flipping ain't easy. If you work hard at this, anyone that can sit up here and say that flipping is easy, they're not doing something right. Or they got it so good, they shouldn't be watching YouTube videos. So for the rest of us, flipping ain't easy. And I want to make some merch, that maybe you can, like t-shirts and things like that, or you can maybe wear when you're sourcing or out and about. And, it just kind of represents the fact that for any of us, flipping ain't easy. So tell me what you think of that idea. If you would even consider buying, shirts or sweaters or sweatshirts or whatever it is. This is something we're kind of kicking around right now. A year ago, I would never have thought that we'd have over 5,000 people who cared enough to click on that subscribe button. And the crazier thing is that for every one person that subscribes, there's still another 4 out there who just watch the videos and don't subscribe. So the outreach is even more than I think. And that's humbling. I'm used to all my life helping one person out at a time and not helping people sitting in front of this camera. Every one of you guys are judging me, maybe subconsciously at least, maybe from what shirt I'm wearing or, the stuff I have going on in the background, when I'm out in my garage and my garage is a hot mess. But I'm not trying to be anything else but who I am. I'm not trying to represent myself as some guy with a Ferrari outside, and how wonderful this business is. I'm here to tell you, here's what I go through. Here's what the hot mess is in my garage. Here's what I am. And when I turn this camera off, this is going to be the same guy. And so I just, want you guys to know that I'm trying to be as genuine as I can. I'm not used to being in front of the camera. If you really knew the John that is off the camera, a lot of me is the same, but I'm actually even, I speak my mind a little even more. Let me put it that way. But of course, you have to be sort of PC in this world, and just who I am. And I'm not going to change for anyone. So hopefully that doesn't turn you off to this channel. But I think that being unique and being true to myself is something that you guys really want. I don't think you want someone who's up here acting. And it's a lot of times you'll see me nervous in front of the camera because I am. It's not easy to get up here and to try to get all this information out and without making mistakes. And I think a lot of that also is compounded by the fact that I want to do good, and I am my worst critic, or my biggest critic, and I don't want to deliver something that's subpar. And I think sometimes in trying too hard is where you really mess up. So I came onto this live stream today saying, hey, I want to have a little fun. I don't want to feel like a robot. I don't want to, just be boring. And so hopefully you guys appreciate that and enjoy the content. Let's see. My wife agrees here that we just had a conversation about getting some shirts. I think it's a cool little thing. I'd like to do that. I don't know if it's worth it. I think a lot of channels. I watched some guy. He has he's a YouTuber doing eBay stuff like we do, and he has like 1,200 subscribers, and he has merchandise. He has subscriptions where he's charging people $1.99. I just I don't feel comfortable doing that. I mean, I'm not here to try to make money. I'm not here to try to take your money. If I make money as a result of this, and if you guys, do the whole super chat thing, like we had from D Scud, by all means, thank you. But it's not something that I'm expecting at all. Yvette Tipton, love the videos. Thank you, Yvette. I'm sorry, Yvette. I hope I have that right. And thank you. It doesn't take much. It's little comments like this that I get in my videos. And it's one of those things where maybe I did a video and it just felt like, wow, I put a lot of work into that. But then I see these comments and it's like, I want to get out there and make another one. It's awesome, and it's not just the same people who are commenting. There's people that I've never seen before that'll just pop up and say something nice like that, and it really makes this whole thing worth my while. It makes me feel like I'm doing something positive. When you don't have a full-time job to go to, when your kids have left the house and they're no longer here to sometimes bug you, but also to entertain you and spend time with you and that kind of thing, you look forward to things like making videos and helping other people. And I just feel honored to be able to do that. And the fact that you guys not only enjoy the content, but take the time to put little remarks like that, it makes me feel good. So thank you. Let's see. Get help tax. They say that's how a lot of businesses are. It takes time to grow. Yes. So whether you're doing eBay, and you throw a bunch of items out there, and after a couple weeks you're like, well, how come my stuff isn't selling? Well, you got to do more than throw a couple items out there, and you got to put more time into it. You have to. A lot of these search engines like YouTube, eBay, doesn't matter. They're looking for consistency, and the more time and the more consistent you are about putting out the content or putting your listings up, the more it rewards you. There's been times that I thought, wow, this is a pretty good video, and I don't get a whole lot of traction. And this is when I first started actually, and then I looked at it and I'm like, well, I'm not consistent. I'm putting out one video here, 2 videos there, and now I try more to put out 3 videos a week, 2 to 3 videos a week, but at least it's sort of a consistent gapping, and I think that's working a lot. Travis W. How you doing, Travis? He says, I was actually bragging about how nice and hopeful you've been to some of my family because they had asked how I know so much about what I'm doing, and I told them it was people like you and Joe. Glad to help, Travis. I know that we've chatted a little bit on Instagram as well, and what I do is, instead of playing games on Facebook, instead of going on and tweeting about what I ate for dinner, I'll go on and I'll check my videos. I'll try to answer the questions, and I'll go on to Instagram if I have a message or two, and I'll try to help whenever I can. And right now I'm able to because we have only 5,000 subs, and it's not bad. I mean, a couple a night is not bad. Over time, it may get to the point where I just can't do it, and I hope you guys can understand that if I'm taking an hour out of my evening to do this, I may not get to all your emails or your questions, but I do the best that I can. But I'm glad, Travis, that I'm able to help you, and tell your family that I said hi. I see. After watching everything on Netflix, I'm going back a year ago to watch videos. What kind of videos? We watch Netflix. I have YouTube TV. But honestly, I only have any kind of paid programming because I'm a huge sports fan. My Raiders, I watch in the winter, and of course my Angels baseball team, I watch them in the spring. And hey, if I'm paying a little bit every month so I get that enjoyment, that's worth it to me. Well, I can't comment on that. This is not a political channel, so we'll click off of that. I don't disagree and I don't agree. I neither disagree or whatever. Just understand, Ken, that I can't go there. Let me just put it that way. If I had another channel, we'd probably have a nice discussion. Let me put it that way. Wanda Greer. After a video yesterday, I noticed my account was also messed up. I was charged with a bounced charge over $7 amount through managed payment. Bank had not charged me there over $220 in the account. Wanda, let me tell you something. I didn't mention this in my video, my last video, but another thing that happened to me is I had a $750 invoice from eBay for my eBay fees. And it's not really the eBay fees, it's the labels that I've been overcharged on with FedEx. But it's the labels and it's my store fee. And did you know I was waiting for it to hit my credit card, which is on file? It never happened. And so I just said, okay, well, maybe they're doing something because in the next couple months, they're going to be doing away with invoices anyway. So maybe they're going to kind of take it out of my available funds. Did you know they hit my bank account for $750? Now, I was fine. I had the money in there. Thankfully, I'm not broke right now. And had that happened, that could have caused other things to bounce, like maybe a light bill or other bills or cause a big problem. And I don't know what's going on with eBay. Honestly, I don't. The policy that they have is that if you run into a negative balance, it says up to 14 days. Now, why they don't wait 14 days, I have no idea. If you were a buyer, they'd give you 25 days, 30 days. But because you're a seller, they tell you up to 14 days, and after a few days, they'll hit your bank account. I'm sorry it happened to you. I would be on the phone with eBay. Go on to ebay.com/seller help. Go in, find the problem. You have to select about 4 or 5 different screens, click on contact us, and get someone on the phone that can explain to you what's going on here, because it just doesn't seem like they really care. They're just hitting people's account lately, and I don't like it. Lanny likes the banner. So I think the last one that I had was really drab. It lacked color and it was really boring. If you saw what the guy I had working on this came up with initially, I'm like, no, that doesn't represent my channel at all. Looked more like the FedEx logo. And I said, no, please go back and redo it. I want something that's going to represent what this channel's about. This shows boxes, and shipping, customer service, sourcing. That's what we're about. And he actually came back with something pretty good. So I'm pretty happy about it. Let's see. How did I come up with my new YouTube name? Well, my YouTube name, it's funny. I was joking with a coworker when I was working full time. This is when I was doing the drop shipping mess and all that stuff. And I said, we're all going to get shut down, because we knew a couple months before it actually happened that they're going to close our call center. And some were going to the East Coast, and we decided that we just didn't want to do that. We wanted to be close to family and stay on the West Coast. And so I joked with a coworker that, I'll make a YouTube channel called Flippin' Ain't Easy. And, it kind of stuck. And it was just a joke sort of at the time, but it's something I thought about quite often, to fill this void. I was always helping people at my other job. That was my job. I was a supervisor. So to train, to coach, and that kind of thing is sort of my primary function. And not to have that anymore, it's sort of a void. Like the same thing with like people, they retire, they leave their work and they don't have anything to do. There's something missing. And I didn't want that to happen to me. So that's sort of why we created this channel. Lanny says, keep doing you. I turn off YouTubers who are fake. Yeah, it's funny. And you'll see sometimes that on my videos, you'll see like a cut scene, like maybe where I make a mistake. I'm not going to keep that in the channel. I'm not on the video. I'm not going to do that. I'm human. I sometimes try to speak faster than I'm thinking, and I cause mistakes. But I want the content to be clear. I don't want someone to be confused because I misspoke. So when I'm going back and I'm doing the videos, I'll cut out stuff. But it's just because I want the videos to have brevity and to be not 45 minutes to an hour. And I want the information to make sense, because the whole goal is for you guys to understand what I'm talking about. And if I'm confused or sometimes appear to be confused, I'm going to cut that out because it doesn't do any good. I think other viewers will agree it is your authenticity we like and appreciate. Well, I appreciate that. And again, I thank you guys for liking me. I mean, hey. Wanda Greer, I for one appreciate the effort you're putting this venue. Keep others informed and sharing your life is brave. Well, I don't know. I'm more comfortable now than I was, say, a year ago. If you would have asked me a year ago to go live, I would have said, no, it's not happening. And I think this gives me a chance to be in contact with you guys rather than just answering a message a day or two later. I can give you real-time information, and it's something I want to keep doing. Every couple weeks. I don't want to do the live stream any more than a couple weeks, once every couple weeks, because I'm busy, you're busy, and honestly, it's hard to come up with stuff to talk about that's relevant. I mean, we could talk about all kinds of stuff, but stuff that's interesting, every week, I think, unless something's really going on with eBay or whatever. But that's what the content of the other videos are for. Vintage Philly, PA, thanks for sharing. And if you're a friend of Joe, we know you have been thoroughly screened. Joe is a character. Watching his video, just yesterday's video, and there's a point in that video, and I'll let you figure it out yourself if you're watching it, that his mannerism, I just die laughing. And I was laughing my butt off, let me put it that way. And so yes, Joe, he is a character. If you ask him a question as a buyer and it's the wrong question, block. And I just think that's totally funny. So yes, he is definitely a genuine guy. I really enjoy talking with Joe. Yes, the Raiders, let's go. I have season tickets for the Raiders, and I'm looking forward to them playing this year. We might get a bump with the stimulus coming out, get those listings. Yes, get those listings out. But more importantly, and this is another thing that I'm really trying to focus on, and I'm trying to get another pallet. In a couple weeks, you're going to be competing with people who've been watching Extreme Unboxing and all these shows, and people are going to be out in the thrift stores, and people are going to be out doing this and that, trying to buy stuff to resell. And guess what? Had the stimulus not happened, they may not have had the money to do that, and now the cost of goods are going to be even more. So there's a flip side to that. While I am looking for the bump of people actually having money to spend, and that's the whole point in it, I'm hoping they don't spend it on stuff to resell. I hope they're spending it on eBay. And I think that's what you're looking forward to as well. D-Scud, any suggestions for choosing a bank for newly formed company? Integration issues to look out for? I use Chase. They're fine. I don't keep a negative balance at all. So the fact that I keep a pretty good chunk of change in that account, they don't charge me any fees. But I would say your neighborhood credit union is probably another good resource, because they're not as fee happy as a lot of these banks, these big banks are. And I noticed with direct deposits, they are very fast. The only reason why I recommend Chase is that I get my deposits the next day. So if eBay comes out that morning and says, okay, you have $500 that's being sent to you for managed payments, I can count on the next day that money is going to be in my account. And I don't have problems waiting 2, 3, 4, 5 days like some people report. So definitely look into those. And also, update from last week's question regarding B-Stock buyer application. Uploaded sales tax certificate and got approved same day or next day for each market. Yes, awesome. So I'm glad that worked out for you. Do me one favor, though. Just try not to bid on the stuff I'm bidding on, okay? I'll stay away from you as well. But no, honestly, with B-Stock, they have more than just the Costco market. I was looking at Walmart. They have like stuff like truckloads, pallet loads. They have Sam's Club. They have Office Depot, Home Depot, you name it. They have it, and there's a lot of good stuff on there. And what I like about it is two things. You're getting the merchandise directly from the store, okay, on a lot of these marketplaces within B-Stock. That means this: they don't care what you're getting. It's on the manifest. They're going to ship it to you. Some of these third-party liquidators, they start cherry picking. Like my experience, I went on there the other day just to see what kind of stuff they've been offering, and it's trash. I'm sorry, direct liquidation. They just, and I'm just telling you, go look it up for yourself. There's not a lot of good electronics on there anymore for customer returns, and it's because they pick the good stuff out of the stuff they're getting from these large retailers. They're selling it themselves, and they're putting, like the stuff that we're doing today after this program, we're taking the stuff we don't want to bother with and we're putting it out there. And it's definitely not the way to go. B stock, you're dealing with a lot of retailers who don't care. We're going to set. I received 2 Onkyo receivers, MSRP $399. Well, I sold one for $499. That was brand new, and the other one was open box. Like someone took it out, tried it out, and put it back in the box with the internal packaging still, and I still made $470. And that was something I sold yesterday. It's awesome, and so I'm gonna do a lot more of my sourcing there. But of course, because of quality, the prices, it's going to be harder to use that 40-40 method. So I may have to bump it up to 50-50 for them. So excellent. I'm glad you were able to be approved. And Rebecca, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. Thank you for watching this channel. Thank you for tuning in. We're now an hour and 36 minutes into the program, and you guys have been awesome every step of the way. Again, thank you, D Scud. Thank you, Rebecca Crow, for those things. I don't ask for those things really, but it does support the channel, and I thank you. We have another question here real quick. John, do you ever buy large lots of product with other sellers and then split the product? Last time I did that with a friend of mine, and my friend Mike, and he actually is like on one of the videos. His face is on one of my earlier videos. But at the time, he was a new eBayer, and the guy's retired, the military, he was just looking for a little extra income to sort of supplement, being able to go out and about throughout the town. He's also here in Vegas. And he went in halves with me on a direct liquidation pallet where we found, the manifest, it had like 3 PlayStation 4s. This is like a year ago, like a year and a half ago. We found 3 PlayStation 4s, 2 Xbox systems that were limited edition, a couple receivers, and it was just awesome. So we ordered it, and the stuff came, and wouldn't you know it, I think it was the 6 or 7 top most expensive items in that manifest were nowhere to be found. And that totally turned him off of that. I think about a month later, he's like, here, just buy me out of my stuff because I'm not happy with it. And I think that experience totally turned him off of the whole thing. But ever since then, I really haven't went in halves with anyone on merchandise. I think it's kind of tough too, because you don't know what kind of condition you're going to get. And it would be sort of awkward to say, okay, well, we have 2 of these. I'll take the brand new one. You could take the one that looks like someone like ran over it. That wouldn't be fair. I think one way to do it is you agree ahead of time. You look at the manifest and you say, okay, we're each getting one of these. I'll take this one off. You take that one off. And then when it comes, it's yours. And if it's trash, then it's trash. But it's one way to do it. But I just haven't had to mess with it because I don't have anyone here that has wanted to do that. Hi neighbor, I have Chase as well. Get my payment the day after too. So it's awesome. So if you're looking for a bank, maybe you're having problems with, once eBay sends it over to you and you still haven't received your money in a timely manner, check into Chase. That would be the first thing I do. But if you don't want to deal with the big bank, definitely check your local credit union. Rated Forever, has anyone had to change their eBay password recently? As I got an email from eBay stating that my account was signed into for a certain count of time, so I immediately changed my password. Good idea. I have this program that I'm trying to integrate right now. It's called LastPass. I don't think it costs me anything. And it's also on your computer and your phone. And you basically put in one password, and every time you log into your other accounts, like eBay, for instance, it asks you to remember it. And then so it'll remember these passwords, and you can change it through that site, and it's just a little bit more secure. They have to figure out your LastPass password before they can get to your other ones, if that makes sense. But it is a good idea, whether you get an email from eBay or not, to do that. Also, anybody receive an email from eBay on the 25th of February that stated something to the effect that you have credits coming for shipping? Would be interested in knowing if you did get an email like that. They told me that I would see some credits, and it was due to the FedEx problem that I had reported a couple months back, that where they're overcharging you for the labels for FedEx on eBay when you buy your labels, and that credit was going to come up the beginning of the next billing cycle or invoice cycle, which is the 16th of March. So we'll see. We'll find out, and I'll report that to you guys as well. So, we're an hour 40 minutes in. I don't see any more questions, so I just want to go ahead and wrap it up. And I want to thank you guys for spending the afternoon with me. Unfortunately, I have to get out there and get these lots done. But I am looking forward to creating some space in my garage, because it's become a hot mess. And again, thank you for tuning in, and keep listening, keep making those sales, and know one thing, guys, it's never going to change. Flipping ain't easy, and I'll have a video to you guys here early in the week, and enjoy the rest of your day.